All right, check this out. A lot of you guys might know me as Blue Devil. I'm from the county of Los Angeles, and I want to give you guys a quick Southside story. So check this out. Back in 2005, 2006, I was busted in a Southern California county. In this county, you got about three major cities to the county. And when I say major, I mean compared to all the other small towns, these ones were the biggest ones. Uh, and in one of these cities that I lived in, all the gangs got along. There's about three or four gangs. They all got along. They were all family. Even the police officers were family to the gangbangers, uncles, aunts, everybody that worked within the city, everybody that worked in the county offices. They were all related somehow, right? It was a small town, very, very tight niche. Okay, I was the outsider. I'm the one coming from Los Angeles County, moved into this small town. So I was seen as the outsider from LA. Not to say that I had family also there. I had cousins from those gangs. But we did not get along. We did not see eye to eye. We did not get along for anything. So we were enemies, right? And so therefore I lived in this town for probably 2 years, maybe 2 to 3 years. And the whole time that I was there, it was gang banging nonstop. Okay, it was, instead of us being family and friends, we were ops. And because those gangs in that city got along, it was all of them versus me and my homeboys. So anytime that we would get busted, it wasn't like a normal, like normal politics you would say in like Inland Empire, San Diego, or Los Angeles County. In those counties, Los Angeles, Inland Empire, San Diego, and so forth, when you get busted, you roll with your car, you roll with the squad, and that's where it ends because you have, blacks, whites, others, and so forth. But in this county, up here where I was at, everybody in the jail got along because they were all from the same gang, right? Whether it was a different part of the city, but they all got along. So there was no outsiders. There was no blacks. There was very minimal whites. So for the most part, it was all homies from the same gang. And yes, they were Southsiders. So anytime that we would get busted, and when I say we, it's either me or my homeboys, whenever we would get busted, we were the outsiders inside that jail. It wasn't ran like a Southside car. It was ran like gangs, like it was ran like the streets. Therefore, if the people that were in jail didn't like you outside in the streets, they weren't going to be nice to you inside the jail, inside the county. Even though that is not the proper way to run the things, the thing was that they were all connected, they were all family, and there was really no outsiders to say anything to them, right? Uh, so where I'm trying to get to this story was one time I was busted. I was with my homeboy from my hood. We both were in this county jail, surrounded by nothing but enemies. Out on the streets, we were taking care of business. So when we walked in there, we were outnumbered. We were outnumbered 50 to 1. Out in the streets, there's different rules and regulations. So out on the streets, we played a little different. So when we got to jail, uh, it was them outnumbering us and being able to do as they like, as they please. Uh, 2 days in, my homeboy gets bail and gets sent home. Right? They pick me up on a warrant. They pick my homeboy up on some small charge. Right? So my homeboy's gone. That's the only person that I had in there to be my eyes behind my head. So I'm stuck with 50 fucking goons from the opposition that don't want to run the Southside car because they hate me with a passion. They don't want to befriend me because out on the streets I was doing what I had to do. And who do I run to? Who do I talk to? Who do I get at? Whoever I get at is related to the people that are there. So there's nobody to get at. You know, the CEOs, all that, they're all related as well. And that would be a no-no regardless. Not that I was in fear of anything, but I was by myself. At the end of the day, if you're tough out on the streets, You can be tough in county, you can be tough anywhere. Yeah, some situations might change, but regardless, I was with the program, right? So I was functioning inside the county jail by myself with a bunch of enemies, right? And to say in this county jail, things were ran a lot different than you would see in Inland Empire or LA County, San Fernando, all that, right? Very, very different program. But to say the least, I befriended a paisa that was my bunkie. My bunkie right on top of me was a paisa from Mexico. And he was the only one that was there to be solid with me throughout my journey in this county jail. I was there for probably, say, 3 months, 4 months maybe. I don't recall, it was a long time ago, but it was a few months. And as you know, day in and day out, boxing the enemy, getting down, doing what we had to do. It was Mando, regardless. Every day it'd be some issue of why you looking at me, or who the fuck does this vato think he is? And I take my shirt off and all my tattoos would be flossing, and they feel offended because I'm in their hometown and out on the streets. They weren't able to see us. So they find whatever reason to get down, right? And that was daily. It sort of reminded me of YA and Juvenile Hall. But to say the least, this Paisa was my homeboy. We chopped it up day in and day out, and I would see him on the phone. Every day on the stress box, and he would always come back to the cell all aguitado, sad, and he would always tell me about his old lady. I guess his old lady was cheating on him, and he would always tell me the situation and what I thought about it, and whether I thought it was a good idea for him to walk away or stay with her. And I'm not that good at giving people advice at that age. I was like 23, I think. And so, I was a knucklehead. So to give somebody advice on their family issues, it wasn't me. And so daily for like weeks on end, he would feel sad and aguitado. Aguitado means like he would feel down, sad. He was all out, right? And I would tell him, stay off the phone, bro. Just let it be. Forget about her. Do your own thing, Do what you got to do. And he won't listen, right? And one day, he came up to me and he said, he goes, hey, bro, check this out. My neighbor, he's my homie. And I heard that he was being with my wife. When I get out, I'm going to kill this bitch. Those were his exact words, but in Spanish. He said it. He said like this. Güey, cuando salga de aquí, la voy a matar, güey. To those that know what I'm saying in Spanish, you understand. When I get out of here, I'm going to kill her. And I said, nah, my boy, let her be. It ain't worth it to go out there and do some shit like that and be here forever. And he kept telling me that he wasn't. And he kept referring to wanting to do cocaine and then kill her. He kept saying, me voy a hacer unas líneas, me voy a poner bien loco y luego la voy a matar, güey. La voy a arrastrar por toda la calle. I still remember his exact words, and creepy to think now that he would do just that, And I would tell him every day, I would tell him, look, bro, just let it be. Don't just fuck it. It is what it is. Note that he was in there already for domestic violence. He was in there for alcohol offenses. And if you guys know, a lot of paisas, no disrespect to any of them because I got a lot of them in my family. They love to get drunk. They like to get DUIs. They love to beat their women. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but them fools be getting faded and not thinking about what they're doing. And y se alteran todo, which means that they get angry right away. Se alteran de volada, So this guy, we were very cool. He was on the top, I was on the bottom. We would switch out sandwiches because I didn't eat the peanut butter and jelly. He did. So I would get his bologna sandwich. He would get my peanut butter and jelly. And we were cool for about 3-4 months. That was my only ally. Of course, he didn't back me up when it came down to squabbling, but he was there for, comfort and pause, no homo, but comfort in the way of where I had somebody to speak to every day. It ain't that easy when you walk into a jail into the lion's den, you know. But it was what it was. So let's fast forward a little bit. I get out of jail. I go back to the same city, the same county, and he's still in there. He still has a few months left to go. I get out. I start doing I get back to my normal life, thugging, doing what I gotta do, right? And I forget about this cat. You know how it is when you're in jail. You're cool with somebody while you're there, but once you leave, it's over. Like whatever the fuck you guys had going on, it's long gone, right? So I go about my life. Give it about a year later, I'm at the gas station with my dad. I still remember. My dad had came down to visit, and we're at the gas station. We go inside. I'm at the register about to give the attendant my money to pump gas, right? And right at the register, they have all the newspapers laid out in front of the clerk. And I just happened to look down for some odd reason. I look down and I see him on the front page. I couldn't believe it. I was in shock. I pick up the paper, I look at it, I start reading it, and that boy did exactly what he said he was gonna do. This motherfucker straight beat the shit out this girl, sliced her neck, right? Dragged her down the street, left her there, and took off, went into hiding. And it says it all in the paper, and I'm reading it, and I'm telling my dad, I know this motherfucker. He has to share my sandwiches with this fool. And of course, right away they don't believe you. And I gave him the story, and I told him, this fool was my bunkie, he was my only ally, we were solid. This motherfucker used to tell me all this shit. And look, this motherfucker did exactly what he said he was gonna do. And I didn't buy the newspaper like a dumb fuck. Now thinking about it, you don't think about these things in the moment. I should have bought it, or maybe I did, but I don't know where it's at. But this fool did exactly what he said he was gonna do. And the reason he was on the front cover was because they found him out in Mexico, undercover working as a construction worker. And they busted his ass. They brought him back to the States. And he probably dead now because he was an old vato. He was probably like, at that time I was like 23. He was probably like 45, 50, maybe pushing 50. So he probably got life or is in prison or dead right now. But to be in county and have a bunkie telling you shit, when most of you guys know that when people tell you these stories in county, they might tell you they're a millionaire. They might tell you they know fucking Tupac. They might tell you they got all this money out here and they got all these plugs. 99% of them are fucking lying. They're just telling you they're just selling you wolf tickets. And I didn't believe this guy when we were in county. Yeah, whatever, fool. You ain't gonna do shit. Shut the fuck up. But when it came to fruition, I just couldn't believe it. It was one of those things where it was like, damn, I was sharing my sandwiches with a straight, cold-hearted fucking murderer. And all this over a female. Now he's gonna go be in prison for the rest of his life, get no action. All for what? To prove a point? So let me give this message out to the young kids that are watching my channel right now. It's nothing worth your life, regardless of whether it's a woman or somebody owes you money or you're trying to bang over a street block. Listen, do what the fuck you want to do. I ain't here to stop you do anything. If you want to be a game banger, be full-fledged. If you want to kill somebody, do what you gotta do. But I can give you is 2 cents in a piece of advice. Ain't none of that worth it. You might think it's worth it right now because of the heat of the moment, because of your emotions. But give it a couple of years. It'll just be in the wind. It will mean nothing. It will literally mean zero. And when you get busted and go to prison for life and you finally start thinking like a man, you'll know the mistake you made, but it'll be too late. So when you have these emotions, think about it. Let it go for a while. Take a walk, get some fresh air, and then act. Alright? So I just wanted to give you guys this quick story. It came to my mind, and I thought I'd share it with you guys. I'm not that good at stories. You guys already know. But I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'm Blue Devil. This has been a TheHaterWorld production, and we out.